Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man. I'm your man, Captain Will. Getting my mic straight up. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring the gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in and hollering at your boy on this somber episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. And before we get started on this, follow me on Twitter, Gamecocks Talk. Follow me on Instagram, Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, and wherever you get your podcast, you can find your man Captain Will. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those cool ways to find me, right? So we got a good one today, y'all. We got a good one today, y'all. South Carolina women's basketball team lost handedly to the UConn Huskies. South Carolina lost by 29 points. This is not a shot o'clock night. This is not a way to celebrate for something. We got nothing to celebrate. We got nothing to celebrate. We got beat down in this basketball game today. Got took out to the woodshed. Chose your own switch. That's what happened with South Carolina today. It was ugly, y'all. It was ugly. A lot of highlights, a lot of lowlights in this basketball game, and more for South Carolina is way more lowlights than highlights. We did not play our version of basketball today. Or maybe we did play our version of basketball today and UConn was just better. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. But when you have a basketball team like South Carolina, who end up shooting 38% from the field, who end up shooting 18% from the three-point line, you ain't winning many basketball games. Those just the facts. It ain't no way to sugarcoat it, y'all. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it. We did not play well in this basketball game. And to be a little bit more clear, when an opponent shoots 44% from the field, like UConn did, when the opponent shoots 46% from the three-point line, and of those 46%, when 28 of them, that's a high volume, and you shoot 28%, you shoot 28 three-pointers, and you hit 46%, there is a problem. There is a problem for South Carolina. And that's what happened in this game. There's no way to say it, no way to sugarcoat it. Ain't no way of saying nothing. We just got beat. We got out rebounded, and going to this basketball game, South Carolina was the better rebounding team. Who thought that in this basketball game? UConn had 48 rebounds to 29 rebounds for the South Carolina women's basketball team. It was ugly. It was ugly. You cannot fix your face and find a way to make sense of it. There's no way that you can. This was ugly basketball for South Carolina. How about 22 assists for UConn? 22 assists for UConn and only 7 for South Carolina. We go on and on about the lowlights of this basketball game, and make no mistake about it. South Carolina tried. They were 18,000 strong, ready to tear up the Colonial Life Arena. Game day for 2 hours. Plies the guest picker. You know, all these great things. Aaliyah Boston in the audience. All these great things for South Carolina. And we got ran out of our own gym. if we're going to break down the overall performance of this basketball team tonight, we got to start with the offense. Like I said earlier, South Carolina shot 38% from the field. I mentioned in yesterday's show, I said that if Carolina shoots 45%, 42% actually from the field and shoots decently from the three-point line, we got a very good shot of winning this basketball game, regardless of what UConn does. Well, we shot 38% from the field and 18% from three. We ain't winning many games like that, especially against the elite teams. Now, Carolina's played a schedule that is unmatched by anybody in the country. This was our 12th team that we played in the top 25. That is a lot. And I ain't talking about the AP top 25. I'm talking about the net top 25. That is a lot of quality games against very high quality competition. Is it a situation now where the Gamecocks are being worn down by mentally about playing all these great teams? Is that the situation? Are we getting worn down physically? I don't know what the hell it is. But I know this right here. Offensively, for South Carolina, we were not them. We weren't. And we're going to talk all about the starting lineups and who should be playing here and who should be playing there, because I got a lot of comments about this basketball game. But if we have to talk about like players, because this is the way I work it out, right? In my mind, if you playing a ton of minutes, then it should show somewhere in the stats. I'm just saying it should show in the stats, because if you look at, and then I'm gonna look at UConn, and I'm gonna look at us. If you look at the way the stats show for UConn in this basketball game, and we're not just talking about offensively. Offensively is just one half of the game. Offensively, defensively, and on the analytics piece for this basketball game for UConn, they were straight up sensational. They were dominant in this basketball game. And a cool stat that I like is efficiency. Overall player efficiency for UConn or South Carolina. UConn, best player, offensively and defensively, was none other than Sarah Strong. We know she is a dominant presence across. If you've been following high school recruiting, you know that she's been special for a long time. You know that. I had Joyce ranked number 1. I had Sarah Strong ranked number 2. ESPN had Sarah number 1. Had Joyce number 3. Whatever way you want to shape it, configure it, however you want to do it, Sarah Strong is a special basketball player playing in the I think the most offensively creative system that she could play with. And Sarah Strong on tonight, 31 minutes. Okay. 31 minutes with Sarah Strong. She had 16 points, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. She had an offensive, a player efficiency of 29. That is great offensively and defensively. Sarah Strong. She was a problem. Now, she had a few fouls. She was a problem for South Carolina. But here's the thing. You talk about Sarah Strong. The second best player on tonight was Azzi Fudd. Azzi Fudd had 5 points in the first half. She turned up in the second half and finished with 28 points. 28 points in 35 minutes of play. So you got Sarah Strong having a tremendous basketball game. You had Azzi Fudd having a tremendous basketball game in 35 minutes. Azzi Fudd, Sarah Strong was exceptional. And the third player in terms of minutes for point production and defense was Paige Bueckers. They big three played their butt off. Paige Bueckers, efficiency of 18. Okay, efficiency of 18. She had played in 35 minutes. She had a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, only 3 assists. South Carolina had 7 assists for the whole game. Paige Bueckers had 10 in the game. South Carolina, in Tahina Powell's words, was pumped. This right here, I don't know. It was something, man. But like I said, if you got Paige playing 35 minutes And you got Sarah Strong playing 31 minutes, which would have been 35 minutes if she wouldn't have gotten in foul trouble. And then you got AZ Fudd playing 35 minutes. Their big three played the bulk of the minutes and balled out. This is not a situation where their big three playing the minutes and then bringing the team down. They uplifted their team. And we transfer and we look at South Carolina. On the other hand, we look at South Carolina on the other hand on what, in terms of minutes played and in terms of, just overall efficiency. Oh, we got something to deal with, y'all. We got something to deal with. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And you I'm tired of making excuses. This is not the excuse type podcast. This is not the excuse type situation with Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. You're going to hear a whole lot of media folks out there talking about this basketball team who I know, love, and feel like the kids of my own. I ain't making no excuses. I'm just talking what I'm talking. I'm just talking about the stats. I'm just talking about the girls there. There is a glitch in the matrix for the South Carolina women's basketball team. In this basketball game tonight, we had players who had efficiency rates that were terrible. Terrible. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. If you are playing a lot of minutes for South Carolina and you're not playing good basketball, I got a question. We talk about all these 10 McDonald's All-American basketball team. If you ain't playing well, somebody else needs to come in the basketball game and get your minutes. Because we could go like for the bottom three. That's how I'm gonna do. I did the top three for UConn in terms of their offensive efficiency, player efficiency, all the cool things. I'm gonna do the bottom three for South Carolina since we lost by almost 30 points. So we look at the bottom three in terms of efficiency. For South Carolina, you got Tessa Johnson, who's -1. Mind you, I just said Sarah Strong was 29. Tessa was -1. Okay? And I love me some tea time with Tessa, tournament Tessa. I do. But you have -1 in 19 minutes of play. It's not going to cut it. And Tessa, 0 points, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. That's 19 minutes of play. And then we move on. The second worst player in terms of minutes and distribution and things of that nature. I mean, the second one is none other than Raven Johnson. Raven didn't get much tonight, if anything. We got to call a spade. And with Raven, she played 24 minutes. Efficiency of 1. She produced. I like points produced. Points produced is a cool athletic stat. I just love it because it tells about the points produced offensively in terms of points scored and assists. For Raven, points produced 1.3. Points produced. Points allowed 11.1. This was Raven Johnson tonight. For Tessa Johnson, it was 0.5 points produced, 8.9 and points allowed. So you had Tessa Johnson playing 19 minutes. You had Raven Johnson playing 24 minutes, and both of them had a very negative delta in terms of basketball play. Those are the facts. Those are the facts, and we just can't. It's so tough to overcome things like that when you have players like Paige Beckers, when you have players like Sarah Strong, you have players like AZ Fudd who are leading their team in minutes and production. And number three on that list of we're talking about inefficient player overall analytics in this basketball game, none other than Te-Hina Paopao. Te-Hina Paopao had an efficiency of 5. She had points produced, 10.8. Points allowed, 15.7. That's what the numbers say. And she played 29 minutes. Powell had 10 points, 2 assists, shot 3 for 11 from the field. No. And she didn't have any turnovers, but this is not Te-Hina Paopao. She had a horrible game by her standards. I talked about Raven Johnson, who was second in terms of least players tonight. And Raven was 0 points and 3 assists and 3 turnovers, 0 for 3 from the field. This wasn't Raven Johnson. This wasn't. So I'm just watching the game in disbelief. I'm watching the game and just saying, like, what in the hell is going on with the South Carolina women's basketball team? But I didn't talk about Sania Feagin. Sania Feagin actually had a overall player efficiency of 2, but she only played 13 minutes. Sania Feagin on today had 4 points, had 3 turnovers. And we got a situation as the University of South Carolina, y'all, the three-time national champions. We have a problem at Carolina, and some of the problems are when we play those elite basketball teams. I'm talking about the top echelon, what we're going to see in the Elite 8. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about those good teams or average teams. I'm not talking about that like that. South Carolina overwhelms them with talent. But when you play in a team like UConn who matches you talent for talent, we have a problem. When we play Texas, matching you in some degree of talent for talent, we have a situation. And UCLA and LSU, we have some problems with that because the truth of the matter is we are a poor defensive rebounding team. And tonight, we were a poor rebounding basketball team. It was no in hell that UConn should have out-rebounded us. It's not. And I'm tripping. I'm really tripping. And according to these top comments, y'all tripping too. So let's go through a few of these comments. There's so many comments. There's so many. I try to get through most of them. Robert Whitaker. How you doing, brother? How was Tennessee able to beat UConn and we can't? Well, it's like this, bro. Every game is different. And our ladies are sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. It's basketball. Sometimes the ball goes in, and sometimes it don't. Those are the facts of the crutch of this situation. And UConn did whatever they wanted to do against us today. They could have scored 100 points in this basketball game today. They really could. I was like, I'm watching the game like, yo, are they going to score 100 against us? Are they going to embarrass us in our own spot? Are those things going to happen? I don't get it. Adam Ritter, what's up, guy? They would not make it past the Sweet 16. Well, I can't say that. I'm not Nostradamus. I can't just reach out and say, hey, we're going to make it this far. But I say this right here. Carolina making out of Sweet 16. I just say like that right there. Carolina's played 12 teams in the top 25. There is no basketball team who has played 12 teams in the top 25. Going into this basketball game, UConn had played 5 teams in the top 25. They had won 2 of them now, and they have lost 3 of them. Okay, now they're 3-3 versus teams in the top 25. Everybody going to have revisionist history with this basketball game or this basketball team. We did not play well in this game. We did not. UConn beat us down. Will it happen again? I don't know. But it got to be more effort. It got to be more attention to detail. Got to be more rebounding for us to win. But yeah, we'll make it past the Sweet 16. TNO 1906, time to change the starting lineup. Hall and Johnson can't score consistently. Our guards have regressed. There is no dominant big on the inside to get rebounds and serve as a deterrent. TNO 1906, thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Let's break this down. I wasn't going to talk about the starting lineups this early, but I guess we can because that's just a lot of the questions in reference to the starting lineup. We've been talking about the starting lineup since game 1. Before start, matter of fact, I was talking about the starting lineup before the season began because I wanted who I wanted to start and who I thought was going to start. But even during big wins, we still talk about the starting lineup, right? And I can't sugarcoat it. I can't make up stuff that is not there. All I can talk about is the facts. And the facts of the matter is You got players on this basketball team and who aren't getting enough how can I say, love, if you will. Now, I can sugarcoat, I can make up whatever. I can say, like, okay, I got some problems with okay, Chloe's not playing enough minutes. Our leading rebounder, our only consistent rebounder on this basketball team, not playing enough minutes. Chloe played, what, 20 minutes in this basketball game? 21 minutes in this basketball game. Chloe had, I'm just perplexed with it. When some of your best players, in terms of rebounding basketball, which we have a problem with, Chloe averaging 8 rebounds per game and not playing enough minutes. Then we complain about not being able to rebound. In terms of the starting lineup again, Raven ain't going to get you many points. She is not. It's not going to happen. She's not going to shoot enough to get you many points. Bree's not going to get you many points. There's going to be some games where she gets 7, 10 points. Like tonight, she had 7 points. But when you're getting 7 points from a Breezy, you're getting, no points from a Raven. And you got 10 points with Powell, but then you have, AZ Flood going nuclear with 28 points, and then you got, Sour Strong and Joyce Edwards basically cancel each other out, but you got Paige Beckers getting 12 points and 10 rebounds. You got Ashlyn Shade just going crazy at the three-point line. You're going to need points. I understand. I get the defense. I understand the loyalty. I understand, sticking to what got you to the dance. But I'm telling you this right now. And, back in the day before I met Wifey Will, I'm just saying, back in the day, you like, okay, you go to the dance with the person you with, and then, that's the person that got you to dance, but then you see somebody, who looking all fine or whatever, then that second place might get you back, might be the person you leave with at the dance. Now I can't say that right now because Wife Will hit me dead in my throat right there. But just keep it real. It's just like, okay, if and we almost in the SEC tournament. And we know that unless we get off to a fast start, if we get to a slow start against elite basketball teams, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. UConn scored 21 points in the first quarter. They scored 20-something points in the second quarter. You had MiLaysia Fulwiley had 2 early fouls, but I'm just saying, if you're not getting in this basketball game, because you got to score. The notion that defense wins championships is a buzzword. It's a buzzword. You got to score the damn basketball. And if you're not scoring the basketball, you're going to have a problem. Carolina's had 58 points. Carolina going to this basketball game was 8th in defensive rating, 2nd in 2-point percentage allowed. UConn almost scored at will. It was top 10 in field goal percentage allowed. Who knew that going into this basketball game? And did it look like that way? I've said over and over again that the lineup should be at the beginning. MiLaysia Fulwiley, and I changed it up. Because I didn't know that Joyce was going to be who she is. I knew that she was going to be a terrific player, but I didn't know she was going to be her. And Joyce Edwards was our best basketball player on this basketball team. Make no mistake about it. Don't hear whatever you hear, whatever the media talking about. Joyce Edwards is our bucket getter. She's the most efficient basketball player on this team. She was 7 for 10 from the field. She had 17 points. She had 5 rebounds. We had 58 points, and Joyce had 17 of them. Okay? At the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the basket. And you have a couple players on this basketball team, and we talking about Joyce Edwards, we talking about MiLaysia Fulwiley, who can put the ball in the basket, who can control the game. We go through scoring droughts on this basketball team. We do. And say, UConn went on a 20-3 run. Who the hell does that against South Carolina in the Colonial Life Arena? Nobody. Nobody does that. UConn did. UConn did. So we can talk all about defense, and I love me some defense. I love that notion. But if your 2 leading scorers on the team come off the bench, per se, Joyce played 29 minutes in his basketball game. Okay, so those not bench minutes, I would say. But I want more of that punch in the actual starting lineup. Then you can bring in a defensive edge with Raven and Breezy. But I'm just saying, MiLaysia Fulwiley need to be in the starting lineup. Joyce Edwards for sure needs to be in the starting lineup. The starting lineup should be Joyce Edwards. If we're going to do the 3-guard, 2-post lineup, and we've been going to a 4-guard, 1-post lineup, ladies and gentlemen, we can't do that. And we can refer back to when Asia Wilson was the post and had 4, smalls, 2 guards, 2 wings in the lineup, and we dominated. We can't do that. You know why? Because we can't rebound. That's why. As a basketball team, we can't rebound. We're 169th in terms of defensive rebounding percentage. We can't do that. We cannot do that, y'all. So to alleviate make it even, have Joyce and Chloe starting the basketball game. Now, my heart of hearts would say have Joyce, Chloe, and Sania starting the basketball game. And then if we got our 3 bigs in the game at the same time, then we can have those conversations about why the hell we can't rebound. But if we getting 1 big and having Chloe, anytime Chloe's on the bench, we get out rebounded thoroughly. So I got some questions about it. I'm just saying. Just got some questions. Danielle, what's up, Danielle? Something has been off with Tessa. I would like Adhel to get more time. Not really sure what the plan is with her. She is only a freshman. Danielle, thank you. Thank you for the comment. And Tessa has not played as well as she did the last quarter of the season last year. She hasn't. Her stats has proved that. And I don't know. I don't know what the situation. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on with Tessa Johnson. But we thought we had a small sample size. We thought that with the big games Tessa is going to produce, and that hasn't been the case. A good portion of the season. I hope she shakes it. I really hope she shakes it because we're going to need Tessa to be Tessa. But it's like this. Like I said before, if you're not performing, we got $10 million All-Americans. Give somebody else a shot. I'm not past the plan of shortening up this lineup. I'm not. Everybody's not producing. Everybody's not producing at a high clip. And so if you're not producing at a high clip, everybody shouldn't be getting the same minutes. I just don't believe that. Michelle Malone, sometimes you need a good old-fashioned beatdown. Michelle Malone, you're right. Sometimes you do. I'm curious. I'm curious of how. I'm not going to say I'm curious how we respond because we're going to respond well on Thursday against Arkansas because Arkansas is terrible. So I'm not, but my question is because Vanderbilt is a good basketball team, a really good basketball team. They're going to make the sweet. They're going to make the tournament, and and that game is going to be in Texas, in Nashville. So we need to get back to being who we think we are, because the team that lost against Texas and the team that just got blown out by UConn is a different basketball team that went 5-0 against top 5 talent straight. This is a different basketball team, and I'm not sure what it is. E. Kane, lineup got to change. No way they will win the chip like this. Feed Joyce. I agree. TNO 1906. Edwards can get buckets consistently. That's pretty much it. Edwards is shooting about 69% for the field. She will find a way to get the ball into the basket. She's averaging close to 16 points in SEC play. All the previous games, because only numbers at this point I look at is SEC numbers. All the other numbers from playing whoever, whenever, I don't care about those numbers. We're talking about SEC numbers, and Joyce has been the bucket getter for our basketball team. Mike Levitt, we get no rebounds, no offensive rebounds. We miss Watkins. We do miss Watkins. We do miss Watkins in terms of rebounds, in terms of toughness, in terms of block shots, all those things. Because, but also make no mistake. Here's the caveat to that. Even when Ashlyn Watkins was here, when she was playing and was healthy, Chloe led the team in rebounding. Okay, so with Watkins, Chloe was still leading the team in rebounding. So we're not gonna poo-poo on what Chloe has been doing this season. She's been our best offensive rebounder, best rebounder of the basketball, with or without Ashlyn Watkins. Okay, let's be clear on that. But when Dawn Staley said, like in the interview, I want to say going into the third quarter, going into the second quarter, I can't remember what it was. It was missing some toughness. You know, toughness is Ashlyn Watkins, but we got to get more players to get that dog to be tough like that. We were bullied. And it's not the first time we got bullied. UCLA bullied us. UCLA bullied us as well. So we got to get this thing together. There's going to be some slow singing, some flower bringing when it comes to this NCAA tournament. I'm telling you, there's going to be a situation. Margot Thompson, at least put Joyce in the starting lineup. Can feed her the ball. She's poised and can handle it. She would get her shots and draw fouls. I can agree with you completely. Margot Thompson. S. Carolina, 8425. Time for a lineup change. Sam White, Raven, Johnson, and Pow ain't playing no defense, and nobody was feeding Joyce. MiLaysia needs to start in the lineup. In this basketball game today, defense was lacking on a lot of ends. If you look back at the first quarter, Chloe was doing work on Sarah defensively. She was playing so well against Sarah defensively. Sarah was going to work on Feagin. Like I said, Joyce was, evened out with Sarah. But you just got to, Sam, you're not saying nothing wrong. This was not Raven's best defensive effort. And she turned the ball over three turnovers. She had 3 turnovers. So that wasn't, and that's something that I was surprised about, having Raven get 3 turnovers, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. And with Raven having 3 assists, which is almost half of what we had as a total, it just makes me sick. Not gonna lie, this makes me sick. Lifestyle 50, this team is not equipped to play without a legitimate big. Until we get that key component back in this system, the struggles remain. We're designed to work through a big. Yes, you're right, Lifestyle 50. You're right. The way our offense is designed, we have to have a dominant big. That's the way it is. That's the way it's been for a good portion of Dawn Staley's tenure here. We had a dominant big. We don't have a dominant big. We don't. So what's the plan B? What's the plan B? What's the counterpunch when you don't have a dominant big? You got to go back to the lab with a pen and the pad and make something different. Like I said, we're going to beat all the teams that we can out-talent. We're going to beat those teams handedly. But what happens when we play teams that has that kind of punch against us with talent? What we going to do about that? I told you before, I'm not a fan of having, one big and 4, wings. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. I despise that lineup. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Sam White, why can't we leverage Adhel as a big? Adele's not ready. She's 6'5", but she's not ready yet. She wasn't. And it's no different. It's no different than Adhel not being ready, right now. Just like it's abnormal. It's abnormal to have players in the post who are ready like that. What we're seeing with Joyce, who is a power forward, who can play 3, she's ready. You had Leah Boston, who was ready. Okay. You had Asia Wilson, who was ready. You had Elena Coates, who were ready as freshmen. You know, you don't have that normally on this on at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Kamilla Cardozo wasn't. She worked her way to being that, but she wasn't ready. You know, I just don't. A year ago, think about this. A year ago, Adhel Tac had tore up her knee. A year ago, she played half of a high school season, her senior year. Played half of a high school season, her junior year. You know how difficult that is? Now we ask this young woman to get quality minutes against a UConn team. She's not ready for that. Sania Feagin wasn't ready her freshman year. Breezy wasn't ready her freshman year. You know, don't put too much on a big or on a player when it's not common for that to happen, to be ready to contribute. We shouldn't be in a situation as a South Carolina women's basketball team that's went 38-0. Went 38-0, lost one player. Now we lost two players, and be in the conversation talking about a player who was off injured in high school start playing. We in a bad way in the post. If we asking that of Adhel Tac, if we asking that of Sakima Walker, that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we saying. So we got to go back to the lab because Maryam Dauda was supposed to be the transfer pickup that was supposed to make up some of the difference that Kamilla Cardozo left and went to the W. Maryam Dauda was third in the SEC in block shots. Third in the SEC. Number one, Ashlyn Watkins. Number two, Kamilla Cardozo. Number three was Maryam Dauda. We not seeing her in the doggone game. Is the system that difficult for her that you just can't get it together? It's like a wasted year for her. She should have redshirted. Well, she couldn't redshirt because she redshirted her first year. But I'm just saying, I don't get it. I just don't get it. How can the team improve its defensive strategy? We still a really good defense. We're still a really good defense. I'm not going to say there's some doom and gloom with South Carolina in terms of defense. We're not going to say that. What I'm saying is, against the better basketball teams, we are not an elite defense. Against some of the better basketball teams, we are not an elite offense. When we lost against UCLA, we shot 30-some%. UCLA shot 50-some%. Okay. We beat LSU. Close game. We shot 30-some% in that basketball game. LSU shot, I want to say 30% in that basketball game. If LSU would have shot better, if LSU would have shot like 44, 43%, LSU would have beat us at home. Because we still shot 30-some%. We're talking about elite games, elite teams. We beat Texas the first time. Also, Madison Booker played atrocious. Played Texas the second time. Texas shot much better, and they beat us. Tonight, we shot 30-some%. UConn shot closer to 48%, and we lost. Robert Whitaker, Fulwiley needs more playing time. I think teams have caught on to us, pressure our guards. We still didn't have many turnovers. So, you know, overall as a team, I want to say we had like, 10 turnovers? Let me see. Let me check the box score. South Carolina had, 12 turnovers. less than our average. And Carolina still doesn't turn the ball over a lot. You know, what they were doing is when we got into our half court offense, they were swarming. It looked like they out athletic us, if that's the term. It really did. It made it difficult getting the entry pass at times. You remember when Paige was guarding Joyce in the post? Remember that? I was like, throw the ball into Joyce. It was tough. Entry pass was tough. She was denying. Well, because Paige is a really good defensive player. Sheila Simmons says Joyce and MiLaysia should start, make the veterans earn their starting roles again. Powell was looking for a shot. Our guards played horrible today. So did Feagin and Chloe. They looked lost. You said a lot, Sheila. You said a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Powell took 11 shots, hit 3 of them, finished with 10 points, 2 for 6 from the field. Chloe was 3 for 8, led the team in rebounds again, and played only 19, 20 minutes. You can only do what you do in the minutes that you're with, you know. But when you got UConn playing, you know, getting 21 points in the first quarter, 24 points in the second quarter, 25 points in the third quarter, we ain't doing the right thing on defense. I don't care less about the offense at that point. We giving up we supposed to be a defensive team. And the only reason that UConn only scored 17 points in the fourth quarter because they pulled back. If they would have played, their offense was getting better, 21, 24, and 25. They was projected to get about 26, 27 points in the fourth quarter if they wanted to, because Carolina was not giving them much resistance. You know, it's just not. Only good quarter we had was the third quarter, and we had 21 points, but we still didn't defend them. We had 21 points, and UConn had 26 points. We scored 9 points in the second quarter, and UConn had 24 points. It just makes me sad. It just makes me sad, man. The second quarter, you talking about Powell 0 for 2. This is a quarter we only had 9 points, and UConn had 24 points. So Powell, 0 points. Feagin had 2 points. Breezy had 2 points. Joyce had 3 points. Fulwiley had 2. That's it. That is it. 33% from the field. Wow. UConn shot 45% from the field, 9 for 20 from the field, and 4 for 9 from 3. We're not going to win that way. It's just not going to happen. Jacqueline Brown, our loss for this game was no aggressive defense, no guarding a three-point shooter, and no defense. Jacqueline Brown, thank you for the comment. And we got whooped. We wanted to, I think. I really do. I think we wanted to. But UConn, like, they had the playbook. They was everywhere. Everywhere. It was not cool. LaShawn Walker, you play how you practice. A team full of 5-star recruits, and you get blown out twice this year. Something not right about these 5-star recruits and All-Americans. LaShawn Walker, thank you for the comment. But here's the thing. UConn have as much talent on their basketball team as we do. Matter of fact, UConn has more talent on their basketball team than we do. UConn will have 2 players, Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd, drafted in the first round of the WNBA draft. 2. You have, so you start with that framework and you work your way around. They have a ton of 5-star recruits as well. All the top teams do. All the top teams have a plethora of 5-star recruits and McDonald's All-Americans, all of that, because they recruit well every single year. We do. LSU does. LSU's got as many as Carolina, UConn. UCLA does. Texas does. All those teams. But then you look at the margins of how you can get better at the margins. When you have, basically equal talent, how does your equal talent stack against other opposing, equal talent? And you have a team like South Carolina where we spread the ball around, where we spread the minutes around. You play, which works for the most part, but when you play a team that doesn't spread the ball around like that, and you're hoping to wear them down in depth, and you don't wear them down in depth, like a team like UConn, and their top 3 players way outplay our top 5 players, you got a situation. And that's what happened with UConn. Shakim, what's up, my guy? Captain says, I like that. Let me give me a sip of sweet tea right now before I read this thing right here. Mm-hmm. Captain says he doesn't study ESPN rankings. I don't study ESPN. I do study ESPN rankings. I do study ESPN rankings. Then I study it so I can talk about it. But he uses it to describe Raven Johnson as the number 2 ranked player, which is hypocritical. She was never number 2. That should have been Olivia Miles. Without Camila Cardoza, Raven Johnson is horrible. Okay. So Shakim, my guess is you're talking about the recruiting rankings from 2021. That's what I'm assuming you're talking about, right? So in the high school recruiting rankings, this is what we're discussing. The high school recruiting rankings. AZ Fudd was number 1. Okay. Number 2 was Raven Johnson. High school. Number 3 was Sania Rivers. Number 4 was Sania Feagin in high school. You're talking about 2025. You're talking about 4 years, 3 years. Olivia Miles, I want to say it was like 12, 11, something of that notion in high school. We're not talking about senior year in high school. We're talking about in college. In college. Okay? That's the discussion. If we go back to high school, Raven Johnson was the number 2 overall recruit in the country. And some would say that Raven Johnson should have been the number 1 recruit in high school. She was amazing. Take some time, Shakim, and actually go watch the games that Raven Johnson played in her junior and senior year in high school. I did. I watched her. I know how good she was in high school. Okay? So, and the notion of saying that without Camila Cardoza, Raven Johnson is horrible, bro. Come on. Let's keep it real. You're just saying stuff now. Come on. Jack Nimmons, Captain Will, I've been hearing and seeing folks saying we are fine, but we aren't. We miss Ashlyn Watkins tremendously. That was the paint protector, the enforcer, the attitude her loss shows. Jack Nimmons, you are saying, you are preaching to the choir, bro. And I was this last time we played Texas, I was worried. I was worried about that basketball game. I felt better about UConn than I did about Texas because against UConn, I thought we was going to play better defensively, which we did not. Now, going forward to the SEC tournament, we got problems rebounding the basketball. That is a fact. And in the SEC tournament, you know, Texas just beat LSU. So LSU has, 2 losses now in the SEC? Texas has 1. We have 1. And the stupid thing about that is a tiebreaker, if everything remains even across the rest of the season, will be decided on a coin flip. Who the hell came up with that decision? Not points, but a coin flip to decide who will be the number 1 seed. Because the number 1, 2, and 3 seeds, South Carolina, LSU, Texas, South Carolina, LSU, however you shape it, you got 3 very even basketball teams. You got 3 teams who will be a number 1 or number 2 ranked seed in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be so much fun. And the same problems that we have if we play Texas, which we probably will play them in the championship at the SEC tournament, is going to be there. Problems rebounding the basketball. Problems in our post of turnovers. Those, they remain the same. That ain't changed. So I do have some issues because if we play a team like UCLA once again, UCLA will present the same problems that they did previously. They will. Southern Cal will present some problems, especially on the defensive end. Juju Watkins is a sensational basketball player, but what's not talked about enough for Juju Watkins is her ability to defend. Juju Watkins is going to shut down whatever player she decides to guard against us if we play them. Do we have a player that can shut down Juju Watkins? No, we don't. We got some issues. We got some problems. It's going to be some furniture moving in with South Carolina. We have a great basketball team, but there are some flaws on this team. Every team got some flaws. We have some apparent flaws that we see. Rebounding is a problem for Carolina. It's a problem. And you're absolutely right about Watkins. We miss her. We do. Ty Cromwell. Didn't the players seem like they didn't care, or is it just me that notices that? Maybe our offense is too structured. Players too afraid of making a mistake and getting pulled. I'm just sitting my tea on that one. Read between the lines if you want to. Ryan Joe. That's 3 losses against elite teams. Same story in all of them. We got beat up on the glass, and we were playing behind from the first quarter. Facts. You tell no lies. You tell no lies about that. Tell no lies. And we can't continue that to happen. Can't continue for that to happen. Claire Fennell, thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a member. Bottom line, you know what? We got a whole bunch of people watching it too. If you're watching me right now on Twitter, or if you're watching me on YouTube, whatever the case may be, if you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. If you have not hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps this program continue to grow. Because we almost got 31,000 subscribers. That's huge. That is huge for us. And I always say us because y'all are the ones that make this program great. Bottom line is the team as a whole did not bring the energy, and it affected every part of the game. I'm not sure, but we won a championship with Ravens scoring 3 points. I think they are a little burnt out. All these records, heavy schedule early on, they got to figure it out, though. Claire Fennell, I think there's some truth to what you're saying. I'm always a cat talking about a number one strength to schedule. Well, damn, I wish we had a number one strength to schedule right now. I really don't. I really wish we were like, okay, we need mental breaks. It was a lackluster performance for South Carolina today. Maybe they are tired. When Dawn Staley said it's some things going on that is not basketball related. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly, but it's not basketball related. It's some stuff that we don't know that might be going on with this basketball team. And I know Dawn ain't wanting to make excuses, but though, I'm just curious. I'm just curious, man. The schedule's been hellified, bro. For real. South Carolina 8-4-2-5. I see at least 5 teams better than us on a neutral court right now. I was doing the same thing. I was telling Wifey Will the same thing. I was like, right now, as it stands right now, because I know the top 16 seeds or top 16 list or whatever you want to call it, NCAA tournament came out today. The first iteration of it came out today. And we just got to take that with a grain of salt because that happened before the 1:00 game. And it had, number 1 seed, of course, South Carolina, number 1 seed, Texas, number 1 seed, and so forth. But you got to, and Shakim probably, which was thinking about with me, I don't look at the AP poll because the AP poll sucks. It's terrible, horrible, horrific. Don't like that. But if you look at holistically of the top 4 teams out there, is South Carolina one of the best 4 teams out there? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. If South Carolina number 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe not top 4, you have a team, even though UCLA lost, UCLA's record isn't as daunting as ours, but that might have some counter effects to it. It might be a problem for that. You got Southern Cal playing great basketball. You got Notre Dame playing terrific basketball. You got Texas playing great basketball. You know, if those things came out today with South Carolina, if you actually look at and pick the top 4 seeds, would Carolina be a number 1 seed? I would say no. I would say no, because the beatdown that UConn just gave us for 29 points, UConn was number 2 seed. UConn is playing better basketball than we are. We've lost 2 games in, what, a week? You know, it's not, did we peak too soon? Did we peak? That's the problem. Like, okay, maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's the issue right now. Did South Carolina peak too soon? Did we peak during the top, during that 5-game run, top 25 team? Did we peak then? Did it mess us up? Because over the course of the last week, we haven't looked like the same basketball team. I guess those are the things to consider. Those are the things to think about when we are discussing South Carolina women's basketball game. Basketball. It's a matter of going this way as SEC tournament is around the corner, in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. What is Carolina right now? AP poll can come out tomorrow. Even though it sucks, Carolina probably going to drop to like 7th, maybe 8th in the AP poll because of the way that we lost. UConn is going to, in the net ranking, UConn was already number 2. UConn in net ranking will be number 1 basketball team tomorrow because the net rankings value the strength of schedule. They value the opponent. So UConn was playing a team that was ranked higher than them, and they value the point spread of playing that team. So UConn beat us by 29 points. So that's a big push for them in the net rankings, the quad rankings, all those different rankings. And they beat us at home, and you get more points for beating an opponent at their home spot. So UConn, by net ranking, will be number 1. How far they jump up in that regard in the AP poll, who knows? Because the AP poll is terrible. But we just gotta. It's a situation, y'all. Situation. Where was I at? So many questions, so many things. I'm not gonna be able to go through it. We've been going almost an hour. I'm not gonna go through everything. But I appreciate it. Maybe we do another live tomorrow. I think we do that. I'm gonna take a few more questions, and then we're gonna do a live tomorrow. And I'm gonna go back to some of these questions. We'll continue to break down this game, and we talk about the game that just went down with LSU and Texas and the repercussions of that situation. Yeah, so I think we'll do another live tomorrow. Lifestyle 50. This team is not equipped to play without a legitimate big until we get that key component back in the system. The struggles remain. We are designed to work through a big. Oh, I already did that one. Oh, maybe I didn't. I can't remember. Can't remember. Yeah, I did that one already. See, so many of them. Oh my gosh, so many questions. This is so crazy, man. This is awesome. Roosevelt Johnson, today was embarrassing. It was. After this show, I'm gonna drink something a little stronger than some sweet tea. UNV me. UConn looked like the Taurasi days, the Stewart days, and just handed South Carolina their butts at home. Ouch. That being said, hopefully my girl Dawn has a plan, but that was painful. I agree with you, UNV me. They look really good tonight and today, and probably the best they look. I ain't gonna say probably. That's the best UConn's look this whole season. They were clicking on all cylinders, and they look terrific. It's questions about Dawn Staley, and I ain't gonna never sit up here and question Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley is my favorite coach. I believe she is the GOAT as a player, as a coach. She has all the accolades, and in Dawn, I trust to make the right decisions of this basketball team. What I'm scared of she's maybe sometimes I feel Dawn is loyal to a fault, and you love that about her. We do. We love that about her because she's loyal to her players, loyal to her girls, and she's been there, done that, and has done it 3 times. So let's continue to trust the process. Fans, don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. We still good. We got some problems, but we also the most spoiled. We're the most spoiled fan base in the United States of America. 362 basketball teams. We're not the most spoiled. As UConn's the most spoiled. We won a number 2. So we lose a couple of basketball games. We're like the world is ending. Okay, we still very good. We're still very good. And our girls will bounce back. We played Thursday against Arkansas. Our girls will play well in that basketball game, and we need our girls to play well on Sunday versus Vanderbilt. We got to play well as a team. Today, the only player that played well offensively and defensively was Joyce Edwards. That is it. Everybody in the pot in the slow cooker of gumbo didn't play well, and they know that. It ain't individual person who's the blame. Everybody shares the blame because everybody plays minutes, so everybody shares the blame. So I'm hearing a whole lot of comments talking about this and that about Raven and what Raven ain't doing this and blah, 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 all that mess. Raven did not play well tonight. But you know who else didn't play well? The rest of the team. Okay? So we talking all about Raven and probably too many damn comments about Raven. So just keep it real. Just keep it real. Okay? We will be fine as a basketball team. And I think we're going to be fine in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. There's no gloom and doom in my face in regards of this basketball team. We will do this all over again tomorrow. I think we're going to go live at 7 o'clock tomorrow. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Your man, Captain Will, we're going live. We're going to continue the questions. There's so many questions. We're going to continue that on. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you tell somebody, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a baby mama you don't talk to. Tell somebody about Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. You are now rocking with the best. And since you are rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.